Hello, hello, my friends. Oh, hold on. We're getting there. Buttons. There it goes. I'll never not have an issue starting either the camera or the microphone or something. But that's the way that it goes. How are y'all? I hope you're doing well. We've got a good episode for today. And I finally figured out, I don't know if y'all heard it during the wait screen, I figured out how to do the music. I double checked this time, and I pulled up the stream, at least on YouTube. I assume it's going on Twitch as well, because I go through OBS. And I pulled up the stream before it started when I did the waiting room at like 8:50, and I could hear it. And I was like, yes! Now it was super loud when I was listening to it, so I tried to turn it down, and I'm hoping that it sounds like, not necessarily like you can't hear it quiet, because I want you to be able to hear it, but hopefully it sounds like in a good point where when I'm not talking, there is still some sort of noise that's happening, so it's not dead silence. Although, let's be honest here, there is never a moment when I am not talking. Because I don't shut the fuck up. So, I'm kind of always talking. But sometimes when I'm doing auditions or things like that, I figure maybe some music in the background might be nice. So I tried to figure it out. I think I got it to work today. I was hearing it. I did turn it down, but at any point, if it seems like it's too quiet, just let me know and we'll bring it back up. I shouldn't be too quiet. I'm a loud fucker. But so, first things first, there was supposed to be an episode of Voicing Artists' Original Characters that was going to premiere today. If you were with us on our live stream last Monday, you would have already enjoyed the recording of the episode live and joining me in creating the dialogue and exploring the characters. And it was a very comprehensive episode because we actually had multiple voices that we were doing because of the way that the drawings were. So it was supposed to be released today, but we had some hiccups with the timeline of me being busy and some work that I had to do this weekend because can't say yet, but I'm going to be in some other live projects. And so I had a lot of meetings and stuff. And so all of that combined together, and we weren't able to release it today. But we're going to release that episode next Monday because I will not be live next Monday. No! But I won't be live next Monday for a good reason. So, the reason I won't be live next Monday is because this weekend, I believe Friday is February the 2nd. So this weekend, Friday, February the 2nd, Saturday the 3rd, and Sunday the 4th is SetsuCon in Pennsylvania. And we have officially launched my voice acting workshop. And so my voice acting workshop will be at SetsuCon this weekend. It's really exciting for the first time ever. And if you happen to be in town and you want to buy a ticket, you'll see it on the schedule. So you can go check their website for when it's running. But I highly encourage you to come to the whole convention. I've never been to SetsuCon personally, but it's a relatively small convention. I think it only gets about 2,000 or so people. And I'm very excited to meet the community and have it be the first convention that I host my workshop at. But the point of this is all to say that traveling with a full-size booth, it's literally this booth that you see me recording and being live in every single short and day that I post a TikTok reel, and for all my live streams, this is the booth that is coming with me to conventions for my voice acting workshop. So, the travel and the labor that it takes to take this down and build it back up and get all the equipment functioning and run a fully fledged workshop is a lot. So, we are essentially taking that Friday through Monday off entirely. So I won't be live this upcoming Monday, which I think is the 5th. but instead we'll post that episode that should have gone up today. So there will still be content coming out, and then this episode would come out the following week, so that we will be back on schedule with one episode the week before coming out finalized while I'm recording the next one. So it'll work out pretty well. But if you're going to be there, I will be excited to see you. And if not, keep an eye out on my social media pages. So Instagram, TikTok, things like that, for the other conventions that I will be bringing this workshop to. We've gotten accepted into quite a few all around the country, and I'm very excited about it because I want to give everybody the opportunity to be a voice actor, to role play, to have fun and record dialogue and pretend to be characters. And you don't have to be trying to be a voice actor. You don't have to be good at it. You don't have to have ever done any of it before in your entire life. You could just be a fan of anime or just a fan of D&D or things like that. And I would still encourage you to come to the workshop, because it's not about doing this as a career. It is about just learning and experiencing. And I think there's nothing better than experience. And it's a lot of fun. So keep an eye out. If you're not able to come this weekend, you might be able to come to a future one. And one might be closer to where you're at and you're located. So yeah, that's exciting. But that is kind of the update for this weekend and why things have been a little slow moving, because really been prepping for that and getting that ready to go. I do plan to take a lot of videos and a lot of pictures, and I don't know if I'm allowed to film the workshop itself, simply because most conventions do not let you, they don't let you live stream, which makes sense. Because they can't sort of monitor what you're doing on the live stream if you're doing that. But a lot of places also don't like you to record your content and your workshops and your panels, which I totally respect. That's usually because they want to be able to promote it on their end. So if you're doing it on your end and they're doing it on their end, it becomes very disjointed. And there can be some things about, you didn't have people sign waivers and things like that, whereas the convention did. So all sorts of things get a hiccup. So I don't know if I'll be able to record the actual workshop itself, but I will be talking about it. And I'm hoping to record little videos of people in the convention, cosplayers that I meet up with, all sorts of things. So if you see me, say hi, join the workshop, and if not, keep an eye out for the next one. Or at least look forward to the retellings of it from the week after. But that is the update. So that's our main thing. So I'm going to switch over to pull up the episode that we are recording today. Let's see. I want this right here. Okay, excellent. So I pulled up the video. Now I should theoretically check to make sure that the music is not too loud. Because if I'm going to record this and then we put it into a episode, like a finalized YouTube episode, my editor is going to kill me if my voice is not loud over the music. So I really should check. On my end, it seems fine, but I've had that happen before where everything will sound balanced for the audio on my end, and then we will, export it and watch the VOD, and it's not balanced. So what I might actually do is I might turn off our background music while we do the episode, and then I'll turn on the background music again for when we record auditions, because that way it will leave the clean audio for my editor so they can make the episodes out of it that you watch on YouTube. And we don't have sort of fake or processed background music. We can do fresh things while that's happening, since we do take these from the live streams, but we don't make the auditions into their own videos. I guess we could, but we don't usually, so I'll put it back on for that. So I'm going to turn off the music. We're going to mute. Okay. And we're going to switch on over to our window where you see our character for today. Okay. So This is our character for today's episode that we are recording with. We only have this one piece of art, so we're mostly going to be zooming in, looking at some specific details, talking about the art style, the color choices, and what the artist gave me for background for this character, and then we'll get into voicing her. So let me give you some info on this artist. So this artist's name is Rue Martin. If you'd like to look them up on Instagram, the username is RunMien, so RunMien. You can look her up. She is a lovely individual who's letting us play with one of her characters today, and she has a lot in sort of this style of hand-drawn, almost, I don't want to say D&D necessarily, but it's got sort of like a RPG lore style look to it, the way that it's drawn, where it's almost like sketchy, but it's colored and it's rendered, so it's a very cool look. So this character's name is Miri, I believe is the way it's pronounced. That's the way I'm going to pronounce it for this episode. If it is supposed to be pronounced differently, I apologize, Rue. But it's spelled Mheiri, so I'm going to pronounce it as Miri. And the artist did give me some background on Miri. So, the background, universe, history section. Oh, by the way, to my lovely YouTube folks and to my lovely editor, you could just cut this part and put it at the beginning. Hello, we're on another episode of Voicing Artists' Original Characters. Okay, so the background for this character. So Miri is a sailor in training, which I think is pretty evident in this drawing with the gear that she has. She has a lot of like cartographer gear, which is map making equipment. So she's got her journal up. She's got this huge bag on her back of equipment. She's got a full like span on her waist belt here. So she's definitely screams some sort of like adventurer, cartographer, sailor, that energy. So she is a sailor in training, and she's also a cartographer, so a map maker, someone who sort of documents the lands and creates maps and layouts and things like that, who adores the sea, which makes sense. If you didn't like the sea and your job was to get on a boat and make maps of the ocean, you might be having a hard time. So she lives with her dad in a humble 1890s era coastal village. So we're talking before the 1900s just by a little bit. Now, I did not get any specification on where in the world she is located. So I would guess if we're talking 1890s, probably not the United States, especially with a name like Miri. I would guess that she's probably in a European country. By the way she looks, I would guess that as well. But we are talking 1890s, the era where you didn't have, obviously you don't have technology like we do, where you could just Google things on a map, but you didn't even have easy communication. The only way to get information was for someone to brave the seas and hope that they were connecting all the dots correctly and then come back with the one map. There's no copies of it. There's no put it in a press and keep it going. It's a map, right? And then everybody has to then redetail this map from this one sailor. So that's sort of the energy that we're talking about, the era that we're talking about. So she also, a little tidbit I have, is that she has a crush on her childhood best friend, Jolene, and she panics a little bit when she comes near her because she doesn't want her crush to ruin their friendship. So she hasn't told her because it's sort of a little crush of like, I like her, but what if, we would get together and then break up and then never be friends again? That energy, which is adorable. First of all, the gays. We love the gays. We are the gays, okay? But it's also just so cute to picture this person who seems very strong-willed and confident because of her pose and things we'll mention later, but also because the career of being a sailor and a cartographer requires you to be very confident and very strong-willed. So to see someone with that as her natural state, then get a little nervous and panicky and she's when her crush comes near is adorable. It's so cute. Oh my god. When the big strong like character gets all soft and sweet for the oh, adorable. Oh my goodness. The other little tidbits I got was she's about 16, 17, so late teens, and the personality reference, not the vocal reference, but the personality reference is Merida from Brave, which is exactly the energy she gives me, where she is ready to go, she's full force forward, nobody's going to stand in her way, and nobody's going to tell her she can't do it. I see that in her. So, let's go down here to the notes that I took personally as the actor. Nope, I'm a liar. We actually have artist notes on her personality. Sometimes I scroll down here and I'm like, oh, whoops. I put these in the wrong section. Apparently I did that again. So we do have some notes on her personality from the artist, which is great because we've worked with a lot of art pieces recently that we didn't get a lot of description from the artist. And again, it's not good or bad, it's not right or wrong. Having a description for a personality, having a background are all helpful things. We can play with them or without them. Any way that we've got is a way we like to run with. So in this case, we've had quite a few pieces lately back to back that we've really gotten to throw our heart and soul and imagination into, which was a lot of fun because we didn't have notes, and so we got to go crazy with them. But this time around, the artist is a bit more specific about where she comes from, who she lives with, and her personality. So we want to make sure we stay true to what the artist is picturing for her. So, artist notes: curious, wild, careless, rejecting gender roles in the sense that she is very loud and curses a lot. Now, I just want to note that makes sense for a sailor. There's something called a sailor's mouth, which means that you curse like there is no tomorrow. And anyone who knows me knows I have that. Times also my heritage is Irish, so like times it by 50 bajillion, and I curse like a motherfucker. And I'm not afraid to say that, okay? So it's really funny to see a personality trait be that she's incredibly loud, she curses, she's not about needing to be dainty and pretty and sweet like the women were at that time. She's very much just like a male sailor would be. She's wild and she's curious and she's loud and she's interested. Some other notes that the artist gave us are charming, which is interesting because oftentimes I think when someone thinks charming, they are thinking it in terms of like flirting or attractiveness. I don't think she's that kind of charming. Charming in this sense, I would read as she's easy to get along with, easy to be friends with. She's not someone who puts you off when you meet them or seems really cold or needs a getting to know in order to be friendly. So that's where I would put that charming rather than inside of like flirting. So, we also have street smarts and well-liked, though seen as a little odd. So we might have a bit of a Belle scenario happening there where people like her, but she's not the normal girl. She's not typical. And we know that because she's breaking gender roles, so that's probably where a lot of the oddities that people think she is are seen from. But because she's not mean, because she's nice and friendly and charming, they still like her, right? They just think she's a little kooky. And street smart, I think, is good because I could definitely see someone who at this age is more passionate about physical things like being on ship, maintaining a ship, being a part of a crew, mapping things. Those physical adventures at this age could definitely lead you to more of a street smart angle versus a book smart angle. So we also have cocky and confident, which, of course, that's Merida to a T. A little bit too cocky for their britches, but very confident in their ability and what they can do. We also have two here that I think are interesting because they're a bit of flaws, so to speak, which will help us play with her character. So we have a little insecure. There's specifically a note that says she never shows it, right? But she is insecure. So I think we might be able to play with that insecurity in the sad emotion, probably, maybe a little bit of the anger, but definitely the sad, because if she is never showing this insecure side of her, then I would imagine that it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds until it bottles up like a little ship in a bottle, and it has to burst at some point. And usually insecurity is being nervous, being afraid, and those often lead to feeling disappointed in yourself or feeling upset with yourself and sad that other people maybe don't see you the way that you want to be seen. So we might be able to play that with the sad emotion. The other flaw note here is she is afraid of failure, and specifically of failing or disappointing her father. Now, it did say earlier that she lives with her dad, so most likely her dad is a very significant figure in her life, someone who she looks up to, someone who she admires, and she is pursuing so headstrong and so passionately this physical, which at the time would have been a very manly thing, this physical endeavor of being on a ship, being a crew member, putting her career and her objectives forward instead of etiquette and getting married and blah, 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 right? She's putting career, she's putting activity, she's putting physicality before all of those things. And I think they give her pride that she is able to accomplish these things where other people cannot. Maybe even other men her age cannot. And I think maybe her father is very proud of her as well, and the fact that she is able to accomplish so much. And so a bit of her pride in herself maybe is tied into the proudness of her father. And while it's great and it's lovely and it's amazing to have other people be proud of you, when you tie your own self-respect and your own success to someone else's opinion of you, someone else's purview of you, you now have hinged your capabilities and your self-worth on somebody else. And so I think this ties back into the aspect that she's insecure, because she's insecure about other people not seeing her for who she is, not seeing her as a strong person and just a woman, not seeing her as capable, not seeing her as smart, not seeing her as proud, not seeing her as good as what she does. And one of those people that she's afraid of seeing her that way is her father. She doesn't want him to be disappointed in her. She really doesn't want to fail or make a mistake that, while it may not literally make him disappointed in her, she would feel like and assume that he would be disappointed in her because of her mistakes. And that ties back into that insecurity. So I think we can play with both of these inside of the angry, especially in the sad. But I do have a little bit of an idea how to tie it into angry. But we will get back to that, because now we have my notes. Now, my notes here are sort of a accompaniment to what the artist gave us, because the artist gave us such a strong personality description that we're going to run from that mostly. But my notes are adventurous. That one's a little obvious, but she's clearly very keen to take on any opportunity that comes her way. Whether she can do it or not, she's going to take it. I have savvy and adept. Now, adept is interesting here because savvy implies some sort of natural charisma where you are able to do a thing with a smoothness to it, to where it can seem effortless, which I think she does have in some of her sailor skills. But adept in particular is a word that I like. And the reason I like this word is because adept implies to my brain that you are capable not necessarily of doing things perfectly, not of even doing things well, not of, being the best of the best or training for years at something or being instinctually good and having natural talent. Adept is the concept that you can be very articulate and I was going to say comprehensive, and I don't think that's the word that I want. Compendable? Oh, time to bust out the thesaurus. These are the fun things you get if you watch live. Comprehensible. Coherent. That's the word I wanted. Okay. So, yeah, coherent I think is the word that I wanted. There's a little bit more of a physical feeling into adept, which is probably why I didn't use coherent. But adept is the idea that you are very, very technically skilled at working with or crafting or adapting, different word, but changing to, molding to, fitting into spaces that you are needed. You are very, very able to have a person go, hey, here's this thing, show you how to do it once, and you can do it. And I like this concept for adept because it, I think, is strong for her because I don't think she is just good at what she does. I don't think this is a case of she naturally has talent. I don't think this is a case of she's been studying for decades because she's only 16, 17. I think she is very capable of living and experiencing and learning with other people, and she's capable of being thrown into a situation and an environment and just being good at it and just being like, okay, I do the thing. I'm doing it right now. I got it, right? And everything is going well and smoothly. And so I like that word for that. Some other words that I used, unmistakable. I think with her bright red hair and her beautiful outfit, and her personality being loud and cursing and careless and wild, I don't think you mistake her for anyone. I don't think you forget her. I think she is memorable and she is unmistakable. I also have hardy and resilient. Those come from the idea of her being a sailor, because if you have to do work on the seas at all, let alone with the type of equipment and physicality and muscular and all the jazz that you needed to do ships back then, you had to be very, very resilient because Mother Nature would try to kill you every day of your life. The seas, the storms, everything. It was nasty, it was awful, it was torturous to a lot of people, and you have to be hardy, you have to be resilient to work through those things. I also have inelegant or rough around the edges. This is more of the Merida idea, where she is supposed to be like a princess and a nice girl and put on the dresses and the shoes and smile and be very quiet and dainty. And she is pretty. She could do those things, but even if she did all those things, there would still be something about the way she does it or the way she speaks or the way she walks that isn't quite perfect in those feminine things. She's a little too clunky when she moves. Her hair is a little too frazzled. Her voice is a little too loud and deep. Just little bits and pieces that make her rough around the edges for a feminine mold stereotype. Now, we love her, but it fits for what it was back then. And the last one I have, of course, is explorer. I don't think this young girl is anything but an Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake explorer. I think, yes, she's a sailor, yes, she's a cartographer, but the nature of her being curious and wild and carefree give me the idea that what she's really seeking is adventure. She really is seeking to experience the world and everything it can offer her. And she will take whatever it's willing to let her try. And that is hardcore explorer energy of just the only purpose you have, the only thing that ignites your soul into happiness and love is to learn and grow and change and see and taste and hear and smell and everything new experiences. And I think that's at the core of her. Now let's look at this picture. I know you guys have been looking at it. I want to pull up this picture here and talk a bit about this drawing. Whew. Talk a bit about this drawing itself. And I'm going to get a sip of water. Okay. So, let's talk about this drawing. So some things that we notice right off the bat that I love to talk about in every single episode. And y'all know I love to talk about this. So, oh, my necklace came off. Oh no. Let's see if I can put it back on. I know it wasn't clipping super well. It's a little mushroom necklace. Rare view, up close and personal of the mushroom necklace. Let's see if I can put it back on. Okay. Hopefully that will stay. I like my chokers relatively tight, but unfortunately, cheap chokers are like, oh, I'm a dumbass. Yo, I did not just do that. I just put the necklace on over my headphones. I'm so fucking stupid. Oh my god, this is funny as shit. Oh no, of course now I can't get it off. Okay, hold on. Absolutely crazy. Sometimes you have to be a dumbass. Those are the laws of the land. Those are the laws of the land, my guys. At least it's cute today. I don't think I've worn this one on stream yet. It's just a little baby mushroom. I like my chokers tight. Decently tight, but unfortunately, like, good cheap chokers are often way too big for me. Also, yes, this is what my hair normally looks like. It's big and it's floofy. It always gets pushed back from my headphones. Because I work with studio headphones, so it ends up being this little poof in the corner. But I do have classic, like, side cut millennial hair. Half shaved, half big and floofy. Okay, now that we're back and functioning. Hopefully it doesn't fall off again. Okay, so we're going to talk about the thing that I love to talk about when it comes to these episodes and when it comes to these drawings. I love to talk about color palettes and what the color palettes mean for the character and for us voice acting the character. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so we can get a bit of a closer look here up towards her face. Okay, so right there's pretty good. So this color palette is interesting. Now it's a little hard to see. Her eyes are a light green color, just for reference. Her hair is this beautiful natural red orange color. Her skirt is this lighter blue, almost, I would argue, sky blue, which is kind of funny since she's supposed to be a sailor. You would think it's like ocean blue, but I would argue that that's sky blue to me. But it still works. If you're out on the open seas, you are also out in the open air. So sky blue works. And then she's got a lot of different shades of a brown here, which encompass her bag, her other saddle bags. Her waistband's a little bit of a darker gray, brown, black. And then she has her journal, which she has in her hand, which is also brown. And a little teeny bit of gold from these cartographer or map making instruments that are on her waist belt. And she might have just the tiniest bit of a pendant around her neck that's a little bit gold as well. So here's the thing with this color palette. And her shirt's like a creamy white. So we look at this color palette, right? And the first things that stand out to us always when people look at drawings is going to be the brighter colors. Well, with the way this is drawn and the way this is colored, we don't have bright, neon, shocking colors. There's no pinks, there's no greens. We do have blue and we do have orange, but they're a little more muted. They're a little more soft. And we do technically have green in her eyes, but it's very soft and subtle. We don't have the bright pinks and purples and yellows that often will draw your eye right to them and go, oh, I like that. What is that? Right? So if we don't have those and we have more muted tones, it can tell us a few things. First and foremost, we think of her actual background and her history. 1890s, right? That kind of time period is going to be a bit more muted, especially for someone who's not rich and can't afford the rich purples and colors like that. But that aside, I think it's more than just time period, because we have to remember that artists tell you a lot when they are drawing and coloring their characters and their artwork. Even when they do it, sometimes they even do it subconsciously. Sometimes they do it on purpose, but it will always tell us something. So the colors in this case, even though they are what would be bright colors, orange and blue and green, are the muted versions of those bright colors. Paler, bit of a darker orange, very pale green, and a soft, wouldn't necessarily call it pale, but a soft blue in the skirt. However, they're taking up large portions of this character. So it's not just a short little orange buzz cut, it's a beautiful orange mane of long hair. And it's not just a, short little blue piece of skirt. It is my monitor's having a heart attack. Okay. It is a beautiful, long, flowy, and full, all the way to her feet, blue skirt. So these are large patches of color. So they still are drawing your eye from the rest of the character itself. But what it's doing is instead of it's going, hey, look at me, I'm color, hi, and giving you that energy, it's going, hello, I'm color. I'm bright. You should look at me. I think that would be cool. So it's this same look at me, I am taking the room, I am taking the floor, here I am energy. But instead of being loud and pushy and yelly and blah, 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 like fireworks, it's doing it in more of a hello. I am present, I am here, I am standing my ground, and you will notice me, and you will recognize me, which fits with her character. Because yes, we did have the trait of loud, but we didn't have anything that was perky or bouncy or fast talking or punchy or striky. It was all strong, grounded, confident, wild, carefree. These are words that hold weight. And the color being a bright, energetic color, but the muted, toned down version of it gives us that same energy in a stronger, grounded way. So that's what these colors are doing, in my opinion. The other thing that we don't always get when we work with characters, but we definitely have here, whether it was conscious or not, is this artist drew this character in a very unique pose. So this pose is sort of like she has her weight on her back leg here, and then this front leg doesn't seem to have any weight on it. It's a little bit positioned more in the forward area. She has her head looking off to her right a little bit. Her eyes are looking in the distance. Her eyebrows are not nervous, not confused, but maybe a bit more of a determined, sort of like punctual sort of look. Her mouth is kind of a smile, but not quite bright, energetic, more like pleased. And her body is, even though it's leaning on this back leg, her back left leg, and her hip is almost popping to the back left, the rest of her body curves to the right. And she's bringing one arm forward in a fist with nothing in it. And the other arm is back with her shoulder, because her shoulders are quite high. Her posture's very good. One arm is back with her shoulder, holding her book. But look at this for a second. She's not even looking at her journal, at her book. She has this book fully open in one hand, which, don't know if you've ever tried, but holding a journal open with one hand and not having the pages fly everywhere is difficult, especially outside. But she is doing that in her backhand, open, away from her face, significantly away from her face, not even looking at the journal or the mat book. And then her other arm is in this sort of position of power. And I don't mean like, I'm gonna punch somebody type of power. I mean like, yes, I know what I'm doing. I am here. I am strong type of power. I am commanding this floor type of power. And so this pose is incredible for us as an actor because we are able to look at it and say, this girl has all these traits attached to her of confident, curious, strong, grounded. Sure, cool. We think the color palette matches that. Cool, amazing. But now, when I go to record, I'm going to be taking a body position that is very similar to her, where all of this strength is in my body, of my shoulders are back and my head is raised and proud and confident. My arms are doing their own thing in their own strength-filled position because I don't need to worry about them because of course they're doing what I need them to do. I am focused on you, the person I'm talking to, because I know that you need to listen to me because I know what is the right thing to do here. I don't need to look at my book. I don't need to double check. You need to hear me. I'm looking at you. And her body is positioned in this way of like, I'm not even going to lean forward towards you because I'm so confident in what I'm doing that I literally have all my weight back here because I'm like, why wouldn't you trust me? Why wouldn't you believe me? You should believe what I'm telling you. Are you kidding me? This is the type of confidence that we are picking up from her body posture. That's amazing to be able to do that in just the drawing and for us to pick that up. Incredible of this artist. Incredible job, Rue. So now that we've discussed all this with the body posture, the colors, the personality traits, I think it's time that we record some lines. Okay, so now we improv these lines, as we always do, and I did have some ideas for angry and for sad. And for those who are new with us, we do 3 emotions, and then we improv lines for these emotions. So our general 3 emotions are happy, angry, and sad. Now, these can mold and twist and turn depending on what other emotions we want to throw in there, but those are our bases so that we have a starting point for our improv. And then we let whatever feels natural take control and join us in this journey. So I don't necessarily have a place to start with for happy. Now, I will say I do think happy is probably her natural state because of how confident she is as a person, because of how outgoing she is as a person. She's probably used to being in this more, if not happy, very positive energy outlook. So I think this one will be easy and decent for us to do, and then we will really have fun to play in the angry and the sad. Although, to be fair, playing with the more intense emotions tends to be the most fun anyways, but that's okay. So if we're going to start in a way where she's truly excited and overjoyed and happy at her core, I think it would be her on a ship, wind blowing in her hair, hands on the railing, almost leaning off the side into it, maybe just smelling the ocean air with the breeze on her face and little water kicking up. I think that would be her sole point of being like, this is it. This is everything I've ever wanted, and it's here. And so I think that's a good setting to go with for Miri. The question becomes, where do we put dialogue in here? And also, what do we want her voice to sound like? I have to be honest with you all. I don't know what I think her voice should be. I don't think I would go into the high territory for this character. She, especially if Merida's our personality reference, I don't think she strikes me as someone who has a higher vocal tone or a softer voice, especially because she gets loud, but also because, remember, the artist told us that she rejects gender roles. And if she's rejecting traditional gender roles of femininity, I don't think her voice would follow those femininity rules as well. So I think being softer or daintier or higher pitched tend to follow our ideas of femininity. So if we can maybe reverse those, or at the very least push against them, then I think we will do a little bit better in being true to her character roots. Now, that said, does that mean that we want to go as low as we can and as manly and gravelly as we can? I don't think so. I really don't. I could see it being helpful for pushing against gender roles, but I don't know that I want to take every aspect of femininity from her. Because my assumption with this character, my inference, would be that she is not necessarily pushing against gender roles because they are assigned to a specific gender, right? There's nothing that has indicated that she dislikes femininity or the traditional traits of the 1890s that were associated with it. Except for the fact that she seems to be wanting to do more physical things, like being a sailor and being a cartographer, and maybe doing a bit more manual labor. But her outfit is a skirt and a blouse, and her hair is very long and flowy and big, and a lot of her in her design, she's got earrings, right? A lot of her in her design doesn't necessarily come off as traditionally masculine. And so I would venture to think that it's not that she necessarily is like, fuck femininity, I want to be as masculine as possible. But it's just more so that she wants to be who she is as a girl, as a woman, as her own self, and do the things that she wants to do, right? I don't think it's necessarily associated with either one. So I don't want to go fully reverse on femininity because, again, I don't think she rejects it. I think she rejects the restrictions that are put upon being a woman in that era. So if that's the case, then I would do one of two things for her voice. The first is either make it feminine, but maybe just with a bit more push, a bit more punk added to it, or androgynous, to where it's kind of sitting in between feminine and masculine, and it's not entirely identifiable. I think either one would be fine for her. We'll have to see what naturally appears because that we like to throw in whatever naturally occurs. I really like for the improv process to be us living in the character. And when you live in the character, things can change. And that's totally okay. So we'll let that naturally occur. But I think it's going to end up in one of those two ranges of either more masculine femininity or androgynous altogether. Hi, Peachy Bun! It's so good to see you! How's your week been? Oh, I think I'm behind a little bit. I just looked down to check the stream. Yeah, it's a little bit laggy. No worries. I'm gonna get a sip of water while I wait. I've been talking nonstop. Do, 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 do. we are about to get into the improv lines, the dialogue lines for this. Last 2 days off and you did some art. Good for you, Peachy. Oh my goodness. I find it's really nice to have like days off in a row. I know some people are fans of like work, day off, work, day off, work, day. But I think it's, at least in my brain, it's always nicer to have days off consecutively because I feel like you can use one day for rest and then the next day to do the things you enjoy, like drawing and painting and things like that. What'd you create? Were they sketches or were they like full-blown cool art pieces? Yes! You're too correct with that. Need one night to stay up an ungodly hour. Absolutely, Peachy. Oh my goodness. Because you get that first day off and you're kind of in that mode of like, now I can do anything I want because I don't have to get up early and go to work the next day. And so you just stay up for years only to like realize it's like 8 a.m. already the next day and you're like, I should sleep. Yes. Oh my goodness. I love that. Yeah. Well, we are on the emotions here. We were talking about what we're going to do with her voice type. And so I was thinking like probably androgynous. We'll probably let it be whatever naturally comes out. I really only have one androgynous voice. But sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. Thank you for stopping by, though, Peachy. I love when everybody stops by and says hello. It's genuinely my favorite thing on the planet is to talk about what y'all have done for the week and see how it's going because there's nothing better than, like, it's like we all get together and we have, like, a little meetup of, like, okay, guys, let's talk about our day. Like, it's my favorite thing. I love doing it. I've considered, I don't know what time period most folks are on that come to visit during the streams, but I know sometimes it gets late for people. So depending on what my schedule is like, I might end up pushing it back like an hour or two. Just so people aren't up at like, ungodly hours of the night and coming to say hi. I feel so bad when people are up super late and they come in, they say hello. But it's not too bad for me. I mean, it's late, but it's not particularly crazy. But it is what it is, I enjoy my live streams. I enjoy talking to people. So I want to have as many people there as possible. Okay. So we were going to do the happy line. Okay. So with happy, this girl's a sailor. It's about 9 p.m. for you because you're in the East Coast. Okay. Okay, so it's not late for you then. Well, maybe a little. I guess it depends, right? It depends if you're someone who works like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever it is, right? If you're working like 8 to 8, then that might be a little late to stay up. But if you're not working those hours, then I guess it's not like. I never know. I never know. It's also one of those things of like. Sorry, 10 o'clock. Okay, 10's a little late then. Yeah, 10 would be a little late for most people, I think. Oh my goodness. I love that. Good for you. Listen, normally I would not tell you that I'm glad that you are out of it, but you clearly needed the rest and you needed the time to do something that you loved, which was art. And I'm so glad that you have been so focused and dived into your art and your rest and your free time that you couldn't figure out what time it was. I love that for you so much. Oh my goodness, that's lovely. Well, I'll think about the time then. I like 9 p.m. quite a bit, but I know it can be late for some people. I think I'm on the same time as you because I believe I'm East Coast too. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I like the late time, but I know for some people it's a little difficult. But I think we are at least in the U.S., I think we're the latest time zone, right? The East Coast. So theoretically, it should only be late for those of us that are on the East Coast. And for folks that may be viewing from the West or Mountain Time or Central Time, it would actually be fine for them because it's not as late. I might have that fully incorrect. I think I'm right though, because I think we usually get, because I remember like when shows would premiere, we wouldn't get them until like 3 a.m. and I'd have to stay up extra late because they would premiere at midnight, but they'd premiere at midnight on the West Coast, who's like a good chunk of time behind us. So I remember being a kid, being up till like 3 a.m., being like, the new episode. Oh my goodness. Oh my lordy lord. That's how it goes, I suppose. Yeah, if I'm on the latest end of the... Your cousin is in the West, and you said Happy New Year, and she said she had like an hour left. Okay. Yeah, then I think we are the latest time zone in the U.S. I don't know if anyone joins us that's not from the U.S. That'd be interesting. I'd love to talk to them. There's so many cultural differences that I love to talk about. But yeah, so I think we're okay then. Because if you and I can be up at 10 p.m. and say hello in the stream, then the rest of the U.S. can manage. Oh my goodness. That's so funny. I love that very much. Okay. All right. We'll go back into focus mode so my editor doesn't kill me. No, my editor loves, they talk to me all the time about, because they'll stop and stream sometimes too. And so they'll stop in and say hi and chat for me for a while. And then people will come in and chat that they have seen me talk to and me commentate with on other live streams. And so it's so funny because I'll get messages that'll be like, wait a second, I recognize that username from editing such and such live stream. And so it's I think they enjoy it. I think they enjoy us talking together and rambling with each other. I know I enjoy it. That's all that matters. I could talk for years and years and years and years and I would never stop. Okay. But let's do this one. So we're going to do Happy for this character named Miri, who is a sailor, cartographer, is a bit more physical and loud and wild and a bit curious. So I think we're going to give her this idea of we're going to hone into her adventurous spirit when we do this Happy line. And maybe we'll put her on the boat like we were talking about, but it's going to be sort of an overwhelmingness of like new lands to see, new people to meet, new things to experience, and that is where her happiness comes from. So let's give that a shot here. This is it. Everything I've ever wanted or ever hoped for. This is it. Oh, I can't wait to tell my dad about this. He's gonna be so enthralled with all the stories I have of the lands and the people and the things that I get to see and experience. I wonder where we're gonna go first. I wonder who we're gonna meet first. I wonder how many lands have yet to be discovered, and I'm gonna be the one to discover all of them. Oh, I like that for her. It's a very, I think what surprises me about that is that's a very soft happiness. That's a very soft happiness that sort of naturally came out for Miri. And I expect a character, when they are described as like loud and careless and wild and confident and a little cocky, and their personality references Merida, I would expect their happiness to be a bit more forceful, a bit stronger, a bit more like in your face style of passionate. Yes, subvert the tropes, exactly. Absolutely, she's all about it. She's all about it. I would expect her happiness to be much more punchy and in your face, but I have to be honest, I like a soft, subtle happiness for her. Because I think when you are this type of person who is naturally vibrant and out there and pushy and loud and crazy, when that is your natural energetic state, I think when you get in touch with that true emotional core of being happy, it is calmer because it's less of a performance and it's more of a relaxation. It's more of a natural, I am going to get to do everything. And I don't feel the need to explain it to the world because I already know. I already am confident. I already am happy living and breathing where I am. So I really like the more soft version of her happiness. And I think we're going to keep it. I really do. And that means that we get to move on to some more intense emotions where maybe this sort of punchier nature that we would have associated with her naturally will come out. So we're going to do angry now. Now, we know that the two flaws the artist gave us are insecure and afraid of failure or of disappointing people she cares about like her dad. So while I do want to put those into sad, I think they might be helpful for angry too. Because my thought process behind this is her initial reaction to maybe doing her job incorrectly, right? Maybe she maps something incorrectly. The distance isn't correct. The, thing wasn't shown, or the maps that she's using to base hers off of didn't have certain islands here, things like that. I think her initial reaction would be to be frustrated. And I don't just mean like, ugh, this thing sucks. I mean like, I am going to strangle something type of angry. Because of how forceful and loud and wild she is in her natural state. I think when you go into anger, it's just gonna poo 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 poo, light the fire, throw on the gasoline. Like, that's all it's gonna do. And it didn't happen in happy, which means I think it's doubling down, not just pouring gasoline, but like pouring a whole vat of oil for anger. Because if it already didn't get more excited and worse for her first emotion, then that means we gotta take everything that we thought would be into that one, and we thought would be loud about her happiness, and throw it on top of her anger and make it worse. Because she's gotta take that energy that comes in her natural state and put it into something. And I think, especially with a personality reference being Merida, and Merida, when she gets angry, is very like, break the bows, break the staffs, break the swords, rip off the dress. I think we take that route for Miri. And I actually really like the idea of a bit of Miri's anger being almost physical. Like, you will not see me if you are watching this YouTube video, but if you're here with me live, like Peachy Bun, you will see me. I'm probably about to get very physical with this voice line that I'm about to do for her anger, because she strikes me as putting so much energy into this emotion that she would be doing the Merida of ripping her dress, like breaking everything in sight, wanting to light her book on fire, like all of it, tearing paper into pieces, breaking pens. And so I'm going to channel that a little bit into my body. I'm not going to break anything because I got some nice equipment. But I am going to channel the tension and the fervorance of that into a physical sort of tension with part of myself in order to express that in the lines for Miri here. So, what is the context that we want to make her angry with? I'm thinking it has to be of her own failure. It has to be the concept that, see you one day, just grabbing clothes, you have to match the character, and doing short-term method acting. Yes, Peachy. Listen, technically, method acting is bad, right? Like, don't send dead rats and stuff to your coworkers like a certain someone playing the Joker did. But As far as I'm concerned, I would 100% method act by putting on like a fake shirt that I could just whoop bam. I think that would be so much fun. Oh my god. And frankly, very worth it. I think to just method act ripping your shirt off would be so lovely. It would be like such a thrill of energy. It would probably be hard to not pick up those sounds on the microphone, but you know what? That's what a good audio engineer is for, okay? All right, one day we're doing it. One day I'll come prepared for the fact that we're just gonna play an angry motherfucker, and I will bring so many clothes to rip. I'll bring things to tear, things to like shred. Maybe I'll bring something to bite to where I'm like, I hate this. That'll be fun. That would be a fun villain to play, actually. Oh, I love that idea. Okay, all right, so let's put some of that tension and some of that feeling and the anger that we could put with our fists and our arms and sort of in our teeth and our mouth and our jaw as we say this into this improv for Miri. So she has to be angry at herself because she is afraid of failing, and that afraid of failure is going to come in the idea that she is angry, that she made a mistake, that she did something wrong, that probably was a detriment to the people around her, made her feel lesser, like she's not capable of what she's doing, especially when she lives in the 1800s where the world already thinks she's not capable of what she's doing. She's going to be angry for giving them what they want, which is a failing woman. And so that is where our passion and our anger is going to come from for this line. So let's try it. Ugh. I swear to God. You can't do one stupid fucking thing right, can you, Miri? You knew. You knew. And yet you let him walk all over you. Take all the credit for everything you've ever done. Never again. Never again will I let a stupid little weasel like him try and take credit for my hard work. I made those maps. I charted those islands. Not again. Ooh, okay. You know what's so funny? I love what just happened, which is that everything I said that I thought was going to be the case for anger, that I thought was going to be the cause, was the fact that she fucked up and the fact that she made a mistake, was not the cause. Something I really, 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 really try to do when I do these episodes and I voice these original characters is I create a voice, I create a scenario, but if something naturally takes over when I am doing the performance, I let it happen. Because you want those instincts that you have for the character to be a part of it. Because that's what breathes life and individuality and passion into your performance. And it creates this character in the way that she is. So I thought this anger was going to come from a place of like, I'm so stupid. Why did I make that mistake? Now everybody thinks I'm dumb. That's not what happened. That is not at all what happened when I was embodying her. I started with this anger of like, ugh. I'm so frustrated. I'm so mad at myself. But it turned into not being mad at myself because I made a mistake. Mad at myself because I let somebody else walk over me and I did not stand my ground. I should have stood my ground. I should not have backed down from that man, that person trying to tell me I wasn't good enough. That shit should not have fly. And so it was from a place of, I'm an idiot, why did I let that happen? But it was from not a place of, I made a literal mistake that put other people in danger or was incorrect on my paperwork. No, she was correct. She was right. She did her work to the best of her ability because she's good at what she does. But she didn't stand up for herself. And that's where she got pissed off. Because it's no one else's responsibility to stand up for her besides her. And in this world of the 1800s, no one else will stand up for her. She is the only one who she can count on. And I love that that naturally came out, because when these natural instincts take over, we have to give them belief and a little bit of trust that they know what they're doing. And it absolutely did. Because that is a more natural place for her anger to come from. Because if we remember, the artist told us she is cocky and she is confident and she is strong-willed. Which means, of course, her anger is not going to come from making a mistake, because she didn't fucking make a mistake. Her anger is going to come from someone else not respecting her. Because she has the confidence and respect in herself. She knows she can do it. She knows she's good. So from letting someone else disrespect her, that's where the anger comes from. And I love that all this work that we had done about the describing her personality, the colors, the posture, what the artist saw, what I saw, how we felt, the voice, all of this background work that we had done stood firm and showed us and came through in the performance of what her actual feelings are. Even though we didn't quite get it right and we were a little misguided when we were thinking about what we might try for anger, the work that we had put into doing this voice and analyzing this character said, it's okay. You didn't quite get it right, but I know why she's angry. And I will take over and show you. And so that's why I love doing all the work and then trusting yourself naturally. Because these are the beautiful moments you get. So we have one left. We have our sad emotion. Let me take a sip here before we go into it. Because it's not quite androgynous voice, but it is a little lower in my range. And I do have a tendency to put lower voices in my throat where they shouldn't go. Don't do it, people. Okay. So, sadness. I'm thinking for sadness, what I'm going to do is I want to run with this insecurity and this afraid of failureness. Because we thought we were going to run with it for anger. Our work that we had done on the character told our natural instincts that, no, that's not where it belongs. It doesn't belong in anger. So I want to play with it and see if it belongs in sadness. I want to see if it will meld with her being upset, being insecure, being maybe a bit more vulnerable. Because often vulnerability comes out when you let your walls down. And when you're angry, you don't usually let your walls down. So that's not a place that vulnerability usually slips in. But it does happen when you're sad. Because you sort of release all this feeling of desperate emotion. And your walls come down ever so slightly, but they come down. And this vulnerability sort of rushes out like a tidal wave, if you will. Rushes out like a waterfall, or the waves of the ocean, like tears. I'm sorry, I'm just doing like ship and sailor and water references now. I'll stop. Okay. Here we go. Last one. Let's deal with the sadness in the ideas of insecurity and failure. I think I have an idea. Okay, I'm going to go for it. We'll talk about it after. No, you don't get it. I don't get to make mistakes like you do. I don't get to be bad at my job. Because everybody expects me to be bad. because of who I am. And the only thing that happens when I do fail is I prove them right. That I don't deserve to be here. I don't deserve to be doing what I'm doing. And I should just put on my little heels, put on my little makeup, and go get a fucking husband like I'm supposed to. You don't know what that feels like. And you'll never know what that feels like. But it fucking sucks. Ooh. Damn. Oh, that one was heart-wrenching. That was interesting because there was definitely a little spite. Spite's not quite the word. Vitriol, which may be a weird word for some people. There was a little venom in that sadness. There was a bit of, I hate that this is happening, which does come from a place of anger. But I could feel that inherently it was sadness. And my thought process for it, which I did not go into it thinking this way. Oftentimes when I do sadness, I consider the character to be speaking to themselves. For a lot of emotions I do. Simply because it makes context and it makes you getting in touch with your emotions clearer for the actor. But for whatever reason in this case, when I began, I just felt like she was talking to somebody who was trying to comfort her. Somebody who maybe is her friend, a fellow sailor, someone who she likes a lot as respectable and things like that. But they're a man. And they don't get it. And they never will. And they're trying to comfort her. They're trying to be like, hey, it's okay, right? Like, fuck those guys, etc., etc. It's just one mistake, like, anything like that. But there are some times when sometimes you just need to shut your mouth because you don't get it. You just don't. And there's no way you ever truly will. And that usually, in my opinion, comes from a place of being hurt, not from a place of anger. When you get that feeling of like, I need this person who's trying to comfort me to shut the fuck up because what they're saying is not helpful right now and they need to mind their own goddamn business. Like, I love you, but you are wrong. That is usually not from anger. Are you angry at the moment? Yes. But it's usually because you are hurt. It's usually because something has happened that has made you sad, that has made you upset, that has really, really hurt you. And this person trying to comfort you doesn't get what you're feeling. They've never been through this. They may never be through this. In this case, we're in the 1800s. If she's talking to a man, he won't know what it's like to be a woman trying to be in a man's field. But it could happen at any time, right? It could be someone who, if you experience the loss of a loved one or a family member and someone tries to comfort you and they've never experienced that, their words ring a little hollow. No matter how much you like them and how much you value them as a person, there comes a point to where you're like, stop telling me you get it, stop telling me you understand, because you don't. You just don't. And that's where this dialogue came from for me. That's where this improv came from for her sadness, was she was so sad and disappointed in herself and her own actions. Having somebody else trying to tell her, it's okay, you made a mistake, whatever, when they don't get how severe of consequences her mistake has, it came with this venom and this vitriol mixed into the sadness of like, I am forever fucked. I'm stupid and I wish I could die. Right? So it all came together and it mixed. And I think it lended to a very beautiful dialogue and a very beautiful line. And that is the end of this episode. For my folks who will watch this on YouTube, my lovely Twitch folks and my lovely live stream YouTube folks right now, we will continue this live stream, so don't worry. But for my folks who are watching the finalized episode on YouTube, that will be the end of this episode with Miri and with Rue Martin. Again, please go follow the artist. She's absolutely lovely for letting me work with her character today. And if you're watching this as a finalized video, consider joining us on Mondays. We record these live during the first half of my live stream, and I love getting input from people on what kind of dialogue or what kind of character they think this person would portray, or what kind of voice they should have, and things like that. And I will see you in the next video or in the next live stream. Goodbye! All right, that's our little YouTube outro done. So I'm going to switch us over here to our auditions. Boop boop boop. No, why is it a dark screen? It's supposed to have my auditions open. There it is. Oh. Get some water. Okay. Hi, Mordecus! It's good to see you. How's your week been? I hope it's been good. I know it's been a little busy, I believe, but I hope it's been good. Okay, we want to do some auditions. We can go over here. Okay. You don't want to talk about it? Okay. That tells me all I need to know. You don't have to talk about it. That tells me everything I need to know. Okay. Well, just know that I support you and I love you. And if you need anything, you let me know. That's what we doing over here. You know what I'm going to try and do, actually? If you could type an eye roll. You know, okay, so, fun fact that I learned. Because I am an emoji bitch. I'm not technically a millennial, but I type like them. And I love fucking emojis. I literally Googled, how do I do emojis on my keyboard? There's a whole ass keyboard command that gives you a whole thing of emojis you could pick from. For me, I have Windows, so it's... Oh my god, what is it? Oh my god, wait. Oh no, did I forget? Holy shit. No, I didn't forget. Thank Jesus. It's for me on Windows, it's the Start Windows button on my keyboard and the period arrow button. So if you click those both at the same time, it pulls up an emoji keyboard. And it's like the best fucking shit of my life because now I can just emoji everywhere. So here, I'll drop it for you. Oh, you're on Twitch. You might not see it. Fuck. I was gonna say I have the YouTube up. I don't know if I have the Twitch up. Sometimes I do. Wait, I do. I got you. Hold on. We got this. I roll. We're gonna type it twice just for you. Here we go. For Mordecus. Yeah, there you go. That's my alt account. Nobody look it up. We're gonna delete this live stream. Nobody's gonna see it. Nobody will know. One day in like 20 bajillion years, people are gonna go to my very early live streams and be like, and they're gonna fucking like dox me from my alt account. Please don't do that. I beg of you. It's the account I use to watch all my... There. Ooh, that's a good eye roll, actually. I like that one. Oh, that's so funny. I've got the restream chat up so I can see both Twitch and YouTube comments instead of just the Twitch. That emoji on restream is fully different from the one you just posted in the chat. Damn. Okay, I like the one you posted in the chat though. But just, note to self, Mordecus, that you're gonna have to go and straight up just delete me from the records of this. Nobody can know my alt account. You're gonna have to just straight up go in there and put a big old censor barcode over it. I ain't playing that game. That's my account. I used to watch all the people that nobody wants you to watch. Okay, good. Cause that's the account I used to watch, like, like his son and PewDiePie and all the people that everybody's like, what do you mean you watch those men? So we can't have anybody knowing. They can hear it vocally from me. I'll admit it, but they better not be finding that account. Oh my lord, that's funny as shit. Okay. And that's okay. Most people do, and that's fully acceptable. But that's why we gotta blur my alt account name. So that people don't be knowing that I'm out here watching PewDiePie, okay? Alright? That's why we gotta blur it. So that they don't notice, okay? Okay. Just that's all it is. We can keep those to me. It's okay. And I didn't say it out loud. It's not like I said it out loud on the stream, right? So it's fine. Everything's fine. I didn't say it out loud on the stream. It's okay. Why does it always devolve to chaos when you show up into my streams? It's because you're fucking awesome. That's why. Oh, I want to show you the thing that I turned it off while I was making the episodes. And you can tell me if it's too loud. Look what I figured out how to do. There's music in the background so that people aren't just like, dead silent when I'm not talking. Although I said at the beginning of this stream, there's hardly a second when I don't talk. It's so funny because I'll watch, one of the live streamers I love to watch is, this woman who gives great, content creator live streaming advice. And one of the main things that she says about live streaming is that you need to work on never being silent. Like, you need to be talking so that when people ooh, hiccups, so that when people come into your chat and they talk and they, pull up your video because they're interested, that you're not silent and they don't just hear dead silence, right? Because at the very least, people want to be able to put something on in the background, and I fully agree with that. But it's really funny because she'll do stream reviews, and I love her to death, watching her content. But she'll do stream reviews, and that's usually a comment that she gives. And it's just really funny because every time I think about submitting my live streams, I know it's the only comment I'm not gonna get. In fact, I might get the worst comment, which is, you need to shut the fuck up. Because I talk so much. But that's why I figured out, I don't know if you could hear it, but that's why I finally figured out how to put background music to this live stream. Not while I'm doing the episode. I think I'm going to keep it off in the beginning half while I'm doing episodes. But I tried to put on just the itty bittiest. Here, I'll turn it off a little bit and we'll see if that's any better. I tried to put on the itty bittiest of background music. It's supposed to be copyright free and shit. So that it's not just my voice in dead silence. Okay, so I'm going to rename this stream. What should we name it today? Because now we have some voice acting auditions to do. So we could name it voice acting auditions, but that feels boring, and I feel like I do that every time. What are some of the auditions we have today? I know I just pulled up Bishop Grove, which was a pretty cool one. Narrative audio. This is a mystery. Supernatural mystery. And then some of the other ones I think we have. Oh, I think this one's a game. Wait, hold on. Panel swapping puzzle game. Okay. Oh, I did pull them all up. Okay, cool. So, we'll go back to Bishop Grove here. And then let's see. let's retitle this stream now that we are done with our voice acting episode. We are going to title it, maybe like, is video game 1 or 2 words? Video games. Am I gonna look like a boomer if I make it 2 words? Video game. I was about to say, no, because that still sounds boring. Maybe I just don't retitle it. Fuck. This is the hard part, is you're supposed to put, like, catchy titles and stuff so that people come and see it. Ah, fuck it. I guess I just won't retitle it. It's fine. Oh, shit. Did it just retitle it by accident? No, okay. Okay, we'll leave it alone then. Okay. Alright, so let's hop over to Bishop Grove. Let's do some auditiones. Alright, so we're gonna read this out here. Bishop Grove... I can't say words. Okay. Alright, so Bishop Grove pilot. This is a casting call for a narrative audio podcast. You may audition for as many roles as you would like. Auditions should include willingness to return, of course. This project features numerous characters of marginalized identities. We love representation. As this is an indie project, $50. Oh, $50. Awesome. They're doing pay. This is lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. Oh, MP3. Okay, so we need to remember MP3 because usually it's a wave. So let's copy this email so that I can open up my secret email tab that nobody gets to see because it's got my email on it. My email that definitely isn't publicly my business email, so you literally can find it by just going in my fucking bio. No, it's a secret email that nobody knows. Okay. Without yep. What do you want me to title it? For casting purposes. Here we go. Subject line of your email. Control. Pop over to the email tab. Okay, so we're gonna call it Bishop Grove Audition. And then we put my pretty little name on it. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Okie dokie. I'm out of my room. Oh, back over the casting call. Thank you. Alright, so we need to remember MP3 because I won't remember that to save my life. We are naming it as character name, your name. That's expected. That's normal. No slating. That's normal. ABC. Okay. ABC is the usual. 2 lines. Cool. Thank God for no AI. Fuck AI. Cool. So, Bishop Grove is a supernatural mystery surrounding the titular small East Texas town. 2 mysteries intertwine as a group of unlikely friends navigate the end of high school, adulthood, failure, and grief. Lovely. All right. Why, Anne? Do I not get the joke? I don't usually get the joke. Mordecus, help me. Yes, no, oh my God, Mordecus, what's happening? What's the joke? I don't get the joke. What does Y and mean? At least I know what Y/N. Moo. What is happening? What is happening? I don't get it. Oh my God. I would say I'm a dumb motherfucker, but maybe just my Gen Z is showing. But you're younger than me. But I guess maybe that's Tumblr folks use that shit on their cards too, like the yes no jazz or the your name. To me, that's yes no. Like pass the letter in high school, yes or no. But that's your name, huh? I love when Rachel doesn't get the joke. Yeah, Wattpad era. Oh, okay. Believe it or not, I was on the writing fanfiction side of fanfiction. I was not on the reading it. So I knew that there were self-insert fanfictions. Never knew that that was how they spelled your name in order to do the self-inserts. But now I get it. Well, shit. Well, shit. I feel like you just taught me something today. I feel like I will forever be changed. You're probably not a horrible writer. I'm not saying that the things you may have wrote back then are good, because I think maybe we're all bad writers when we're like 14. Just a little bit. But you never know. You're like, an adult. You could probably write okay now. Oh my god. At least decent. I mean, Twilight and all these other things are fan fictions, Okay, well, maybe if you can't, maybe I'm conflating things. You might not write well, but just because you can't write well doesn't mean that you couldn't succeed from writing. There we go. Because all the fan fictions that are becoming movies and stuff. That's all I'm saying. Never know, man. Something tells me they're not specifically written very well either. You can draw, cook, and speak well. You'll be okay. Yeah, I think that's fair, Mordecus. You can cook, which can be a career. You can draw, which can be a career. And you can speak, which is honestly super, super helpful for everyday functioning in the society we live in. Yeah, I think you'll be fine. You don't have to be good at everything. I think that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you if I can write. I don't know if I can write fiction. I think that's where I would put my boundary. Because I loved English in school, and I liked English enough, and I did very well in writing, and actually find like the whole sit down, surprise, you have 10 minutes to write 600 pages. Really fun, actually. So I think I can write nonfiction, like essay style, very well. I don't know if I could write fiction or not. I think my fiction writing would be very actory, where it's all like, oh my goodness type of energy. Plus you're hot and you have boobs. You would thrive at making a D&D campaign. Hot, boobs, cook, draw, speak. Do you understand that you ironically have the 5 necessary traits of a trad wife? Hot, boobs, cook, speak, and then draw is like your bonus one, because all of them are supposed to have like bonus ones. Do you know how funny it is that you, of all people, have the 5 traits needed in a trad wife? Oh my god, that's funny as shit. Yeah, yes you do. Good. I'm glad you know, because the irony of that is something only the universe could have handed you to love and cherish, because damn. Oh. Big old yawn, because I have to adjust my schedule this whole week to be up at normal people hours. Whew. I have to continue to adjust it. Who knows? I was talking to... You do want to be a house husband? You should have every right to be a house husband. It's funny because I talk to a lot of folks who, because of the push against like traditional gender roles, I talk to a lot of ladies who are ashamed of the fact that they want to be stay-at-home wives because they don't want to be a trad wife. They just want to be a stay-at-home wife. They don't want to do a day job. They want to cook. They want to clean. They want to raise kids. And I always love talking to those people who are, again, non-trad wives. They're just, they want that kind of literal life. I love talking to those women because it's always just a session of, if you want to do that, you can do that. You just need to find a man who actually respects you for that and doesn't expect you to do that. They respect, not expect. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Now, in your case, that's a little different because, honestly, I think with the pool that you're looking in to find partners, I think you have a better chance of becoming a house husband than a lot of ladies do of becoming stay-at-home wives. What have I been up to and nobody wants to work anymore? Positive way, not capitalist kind of way. You're correct. Yeah. Positive, nobody wants to work anymore because what the capitalist side of the people who say that, if you, like, the capitalist side of that sentence don't understand is that people don't want to work because they are no longer valued for their work. They are seen as a commodity or a machine that we can bang and bang and bang and bang and shake the computer or the TV to get it to work. We do that to people when they work and just expect them to function. And if they don't function, then they're a piece of shit. And if we didn't do that to people, like how we did used to, but not as severe. But if we didn't do that to people, people would want to work. It's as simple as that. Like, and the bad capitalist people kind of way don't understand that. What have I been up to? So, project that I can't talk about started yesterday. And, I think what I'm allowed to say, we're working for $15 and at the end of the pay period. Yes, exactly, right? And the capitalist people also don't understand boo secrets. The capitalist people also don't understand that it's not just, hey, we don't get enough money, period. It's, hey, we don't get enough money because this amount of money is no longer enough to sustain anyone at a livable, functionable level. If the amount of money that you gave us was sustainable for a livable, functionable amount of life, nobody would be upset. Nobody would be trying to raise the amount. But it is not functionable. And it's not necessarily you, the individual's fault. It actually probably isn't. It's company's fault. But because you will not join with us in bullying the companies, because that's the only time you should bring bullying back, thank you. Because you will not join us in bullying the companies to get them to shut the fuck up and stop raising prices and stop doing shit like this, we now have to say, if you will not help us here, we will make you help us in the money department because we can't live on it. Yes, boo corporations. Boo secrets, but the thing for the projects that I'm doing are good secrets. So yesterday started this movement of me having to try to transition to normal people hours, which has been so exhausted. Going from a midnight shift to like waking up for daytime is hard. Because your brain still doesn't want to sleep at like 10 p.m. It still wants to sleep at like 6 a.m. So now it just doesn't get sleep. But yesterday started the first session. I believe what I can say is it is an actual play. That's all I'm going to say. So TTRPG, where I get to perform. I'm very excited. but it started yesterday. I know. So we did our session 0 yesterday, talking about, things you do at a session 0, and discussing all those kinds of things. I don't think will be released for probably not until March, maybe even mid or late March. I'm hoping I can promote it before it's released, but I doubt it. But I'm very, very excited. It's going to be my first actual play. It's going to be my first, performed, recorded, put on the internet as a, hey, consume this. Here are people doing a TTRPG, performing as characters. I'm so fucking thrilled. I literally want to be in, every fucking actual play I can find. I'm so stoked. Put me in every TTRPG. I'm literally about to put out I swear to God, I will put out a casting call on my own to be like, if you can act or you can roleplay, you better hit me up right now, because I will GM a whole ass fucking campaign just to be putting actual plays out. So that started yesterday, and we have people in the cast who are on, yes, you are always welcome, Mordecus. Are you kidding me? Always welcome. We have people in the group. I'm going to call it a cast because to me it's a performance. Actual plays are performances. We have people in the cast who are not in this country. And so their time zones are much later than ours. Which means your girl has to get up at 7, 8 a.m., if not earlier, to be prepared. We gotta be prepared for these time zones. So not just okay, I get up and I immediately do shit. No, I gotta get into costume. I gotta get into my setup. I have to eat food or I will literally fucking die. I will pass out because unlike normal people, I stand when I perform, because of, and nobody will validate me on this, but personally because of my, personally because of my theater background, and because of how physical I am, I do not like to sit ever when I am performing, so I have to be standing. So that means I'm standing for 4-hour sessions in costume in a hot-ass booth. I have to have eaten food or I'm gonna pass out. So now it's getting ready, it's putting on makeup, it's putting on a costume, it's eating food. It's a lot. And so I started that yesterday for our session 0 because we recorded our session 0. And I'm glad because I like when people record session 0s and put them out there. But the next couple of weekends in February are all going to be on that same morning time schedule, being prepared, doing these actual play episodes. So I kind of have to switch a little bit into the earlier times. I don't know what that's going to do to this stream. I like having this stream at 9 p.m. But I'm going to be tired as fuck. Who knows? We'll see. I don't know if it would be too big of a deal to bring it down to 8 o'clock. We'll see. But that is what's been happening. And then also, I was talking about it earlier at the beginning of this stream. Yeah, just takes a little adjustment before I'm back into it. I was talking about it a little bit earlier in the stream. This weekend is SetsuCon. First ever convention where we are running our voice acting workshop. I keep saying we and our. I really like using those vocab. It's me. I'm running a voice acting workshop with this fucking booth. This fucker right here. But because that's this weekend, and conventions go for full 3 days, plus labor of taking this apart, taking down all my equipment, transport, travel, because we are nowhere near the convention, all of that combined, moving, things like that, setting up, doing the actual activities, making sure I have everything with me, getting everything prepared for This first one in particular, I had to make sure everything was done. Business cards, signs, rules, scripts, because I write all my own scripts, everything. I had to test the equipment to make sure the equipment worked. There was a lot. And that convention this weekend is going to force me into 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. working hours and being awake hours. So I figure if the actual play needs me awake for those hours, and this weekend I'm going to have to do these hours anyways, I might be switching entirely to this, like, normality of a workday type of schedule. I know! I might be joining the early bird team. Now I'm hoping that... Because here's the thing. When I started live streaming, they very much... Everything on the planet was like, the best time for EST time zone is like 3 p.m. That's when you should be streaming. And I was like, bitch, I'm not streaming at 3 p.m. Like, first of all, I would be competing with every big name live streamer on the planet, because that's when all the West Coast people go live, is our time, 3 p.m. And second of all, 3 p.m. is early as fuck. Like, if you have to make dinner for a household, you have to clean for a household, you have to, like, do so many chores and shit, 3 p.m. is way too early. Like, I don't start making dinner until 5. Like, and nobody eats dinner until 6. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, that's too early. So I'm hoping, even if I push the live stream back to 8 p.m., maybe 7 if we get gutsy, in order to not be up until, like, 1 a.m. and stuff, that it should still be okay. I don't want to go full, like, early bird team, you know what I'm saying? But I don't mind 9 p.m. now that I've been stopping closer to midnight. That feels a little bit better with waking up in the morning, because I can stop at midnight, I can eat a little bit of food, watch a YouTube video, and go to bed. And worst comes to worst, I'm probably up until like 1:32. So that's not the worst thing on the planet. We'll see. Yeah. It's not that far off from like 8 or 7, right? It'd be saving me like an hour or something, which is a lot, but I don't know. I like the 9 p.m. time slot quite a bit. We'll see how it goes. I'm also looking into, I have an idea for, so these are every Monday, right? Except for this coming Monday because of SetsuCon. Literally will not have the booth built back in my home to live stream from on Monday. So that's not happening. But, besides these consistent streams every Monday at 9, yeah. I have an idea for Wednesday streams that I want to see if I can start. If I can't do consistently right away, I want to see if I can get people on an idea for Wednesday streams. So that would also be in consideration of what time I'm doing it, because depending on what time zones people are usually available, could be earlier, could be later. But I have an idea to do coaching, like live voice acting coaching on Wednesdays. And it would be kind of like how I do auditions after I do my episodes live on Mondays. Yeah, kind of like how I do the auditions. I literally pull up a sheet and I audition for things and I send them in. It would be that, but instead of me doing that, it's someone else who either brings the auditions that they're working on with them, right? They're like, oh, I found this one on like Casting Call or Twitter. Will you help me with this? And I direct them through doing the lines. We get good takes. I help them get into character, things like that. We make sure we're turning it in correctly. Or it's kind of like how my workshop is going to be, fingers crossed it goes well, at conventions, where they would work with my original scripts and it would be like practice sessions of coaching. So they wouldn't be turning anything in, but we would act as if the line they're working with that for that day is a character they're auditioning for. And we would build the character together, talk about what genre they see this character in. Is it anime? Is it horror? Is it whatever? what do they feel like this character portrays? Are they a villain? Are they a hero? Are they insecure? Are they cocky? Are they tall? Are they short? We would build a character. We would build a scene around with the lines that I've written, and then we would play with it the whole time. Sounds cool? I hope so. When I used to do, I was on Fiverr doing acting coaching, and that is literally what I would do in my classes. It just wasn't live. Is where I would have scripts of dialogue, and I didn't write the scripts at the time, but now I have a bunch of scripts originally written. And since I do it for episodes, I was like, I could write scripts. I would literally just have them choose whatever line of dialogue they wanted that day, and we would build a character, build a scene, and play with it for an hour. And the people that did it with me seemed to have a lot of fun. And I think it'd be really fun to do those, like, on stream. I don't know that I could get someone consistently every Wednesday who would want to do it, but I do think that it would be a fun idea. It's just whether or not I could get people who would want to be live streamed. I don't know. We'll see. I'm probably going to put it out there at some point. I don't know if I'll post it as like a traditional post or if I'll go and like make a straight up casting call where I'm like, hey, free coaching, free directing, free kind of like role play for voice acting, just live streamed, right? And I'm totally cool with people if they don't want to view it as coaching, right? Like, let's say they're a bit more of comfortable with characters and they're a bit more comfortable with, like, they don't necessarily need as much direction. I'm totally comfortable if someone is like, hey, I don't necessarily want to do coaching, but I would love to just get on live and play with you for an hour being a funny character. I'm down for it, right? Like, any form of that is cool. I just think it's easier to pitch if I pitch it as coaching on live. But yeah, feel free to let me know in the DMs if that sounds crazy as fuck. I think it sounds like fun. I don't know that it will be able to be consistent, like the way I am with artists, but I think doing it even on some occasional Wednesdays would be a lot of fun. Okay, look, let me audition for this character while I'm sitting here talking. I love to talk. Oh my god. The just chatting category is perfection because I love to talk. Okay. Alyssa Newman, female, age 18-28, founder and editor of Bishop Grove Journalism Club. She was determined to turn their paper, the Bishop Grove Gazette, into the town's first real news organization. She's a straight-laced investigator of the group, slowly wrapping her mind around the town's mysterious corners. Ambiguous, cool, vocal tone, excitable in a normal situation, but she gets serious when investigating and during voiceovers. This role requires some flexibility as characters 18 in some and 30 in the other. Why would I sit here and lie to your face? You know, Mordecus, you right. You right. You would not sit here and lie to my face. But to be fair, I would sit there and lie to my face. So, I don't put anything past anybody else that I would 100% do. Because I'd do it. I'd sit there and lie like a little bitch. Oh, boy. Lordy, Lord. Also, I find this funny that it's flexibility because at one point she's 18 and at others she's 30. Your voice has already changed. You don't usually sound different at 18 and 30. Maybe your voice has matured a little bit. Maybe. But unless you, like, transitioned or specifically took hormones or specifically took whatever in order to change your voice, you're gonna sound the same at 18 and 30. I can understand if it was like 10 and 30, but 18? Really? Interesting. Maybe okay, I believe you. It's definitely flashbacks. I believe you that voices change a lot. It's just, I guess I've just never heard it then? Huh. I've never really noticed other people's voices change like that. Huh. Maybe I just don't pay attention to other people. Oh, Lord help me. Oh, tone changes, but not the voice itself. Okay. Okay, I think that's a fair argument. Huh. Alright, I don't know if I'll change it. Because I feel like my voice is such a little bitchy voice anyways. I might keep it the same. Because if I go too high, it's going to sound bad. But we'll try it. Years to come, and a time skip. Mother, teaser, Nicole, life from before. Okay. Let's give this a shot. Why are we not recording? Why is it not working? What the fuck? Why is it not working? No. Bring out my new one. Oh no. Bitch, my audio device ain't closed. Oh, are you upset because I plugged in a new one? Okay, hold on. I was testing my equipment for SetsuCon, and I think he's upset because he still thinks the SetsuCon equipment is plugged in. But the SetsuCon equipment is not plugged in. It's my normal recording equipment. Buddy. Buddy, it's okay. Oh, pretty boy, it's okay. Okay, let me go into the settings. Open. We only have one, bitch. Okay. Oh, do I not have my whatchamacallit on? No, that's on. So it should be fine. It's not super happy about it, but it should be fine. Okay, we're synced. Okay. Uh-huh. You ever think about doing something like In Space with Markiplier? Because that shit was so fun to experience. I'll be honest. I don't know what that is. I'll be honest, I don't really understand, but I fell down the hill, now I got glue on my hands and records on my fingers. What? Records on my fingers and I just can't stop. Don't stop, don't stop. I don't know what that is. I was never a big Markiplier watcher. What is... what is it? Can you explain it to me? You might as well take your time and explain it to me because my device is not fucking happy. He is not happy about this. Fell down this hill, now I got glue on my hands and records on my fingers. What? Records on my fingers and I just can't stop. Don't stop, don't stop. Choice-based game, but it was a series of YouTube videos. Oh, I've seen things like that. Where it's like you click the link in the video option for your choice and it takes you to a new one. Yeah, different routes and an interconnected story. Yeah. I think I've seen things like that. Oh, fuck me, dude. Okay, you know, that'd be kind of cool. My problem becomes that I'm not good at, so I'm not very good at creating a story. Because I'm kind of an improver. So it's really difficult for me to, like, create a whole ass thought process and story and all this jazz. Okay, 2 seconds. I'm gonna unplug this and plug it back in. Hi, welcome. I know it's extra loud. I just switched it over to the camera mic so that I could fucking try shit. I'm glad you can, because all my lips are saying is fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, just like over and over. And like I want to die and somebody fucking kill me. So hold on. Hold on. Okay. So. Maybe now if I switch it back over. Alright. I'm gonna leave it on this camera for a second. This camera mic. While I try and help my computer not have a fucking heart attack. I have no idea what's happening, by the way. Because I won't move, don't worry. I have no idea what's happening because my computer's reading it. The problem is that my computer is reading the microphone. Like, I go in here to my settings, go over here to sound, where do you want your output sound? Focusrite, USB audio. Great, cool. Focusrite is the default, is working fine. Here, I'll even turn this down and throw the test. Here we go. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. Did it just freeze? Did everything just freeze? Is that what's happening? Why? This is why I can't be a live streamer. God fucking kill me! What the hell, dude? Did I... What the actual shit? Holy Jesus Christ. I can't click anything now. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh, he's having a heart attack. Y'all, this is why I hate my life. Just in case anyone was the slightest bit curious on why I hate my fucking life. Oh my lord! Just in case anyone was a little bit curious on why I want to die. Ugh, this is why they tell you not to be a live streamer. It's because shit like this goes down. This is why they... Oh no. Oh my god. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. The whole computer's upset. The whole computer's upset. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow, the freezing frames that you're getting right now are crazy. Holy shit. I was legitimately intending to do work today. I'm a little upset that it won't let me. Trying to close as many tabs as I can. This is frustrating. I wish I was better content. Because then maybe, at like the very least, I wouldn't have to live stream. I could just solely make like YouTube videos and TikTok money. But this is not happy about it. Oh boy. I'm just closing every tab I have and hoping and praying that something will work here. Oh my god. Holy Jesus. I know you can't see what's happening right now, but it's fucking crazy. TikTok revenue does suck ass, but what you're going for with YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, it's not for rev share, it's for sponsorships. Which the influencer I follow has that as a part of her thing, where she's like, you're looking to get sponsorships by companies. No rev share on anything is ever going to be enough. But the problem is, and while you can, she's very big about like you can get sponsorships even when you like, you know, don't have any followers or anything, which I believe her. You kind of still need some sort of a consistent audience, because there has to be some amount of views that you're getting that are worth a company putting their time and their energy and their money into. Oh, Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Woo. It's not even... When this used to go crazy, like, I could not put my hands on this laptop because it would quite literally... And yet right now it's freezing out the ass. And nothing. I'm getting nothing. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? I don't know if you can still hear me when the visuals freeze. Oh my lord. Holy Christ. Oh, this is some shit. I don't know if you can hear me when the video freezes, but it's... I don't have control over anything right now. That's how frozen this is. I can't click anything. I'm gonna try unplugging this entire thing. I don't know if you can hear me. The can. That's what just happened. The laptop here. Oh, I don't have a mouse. Uh-oh. I'm literally looking at my phone to see if... Okay, see if we got a chat at least. Okay, so... He's usually, like, literally... Like, I literally cannot touch him. Because that's how fucking hot he gets. So I'm so confused as to what is causing this issue right now. Because he's not even warm. Wow, this is crazy. I just took out all my monitors, so it's not the monitors. It's something on the laptop. What the fuck is happening? Holy shit. I might just have to shut it down. I might not get a choice. I don't even know if I could open OBS here. Holy hell. What's weird is encoding. No, give me that back. It just said encoding overload, which is the thing it used to do. Consider turning down video settings. Down. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Encoding overload is what it did that original old times ago when it was fucky walkying. It's not done this in literally a couple months because we turned the video settings down so that it wouldn't do this. We turned. Alright, yeah. Okay, so I don't even know if I can click the stop streaming button. Holy Jesus Christ. Why does this happen to me? Yeah, it's giving me the encoding overload. Consider turning down video settings. Except my video settings are literally at 1280, 720 FPS. So they are down. Do I need to turn this down? Is that what you want me to turn down? I have no idea. Oh my lord. It still says consider. Well, can I apply it maybe? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, I applied it. Still says encoding overload. It's on fastest, which is lowest quality. Oh my Lord Jesus Christ! Why were we working fine for literally 2 hours? And now all of a sudden we don't know how to function. Do you want me to turn down more? I mean, I can. Oh boy, he's upset. He's so upset. What can I turn it down to that's gonna, like, function? Do I need to be, like... Try that. Okay, I applied that. Oh, Lord help me. I'm assuming it's not Google because OBS doesn't like it either. But usually... Oh, fuck me. Usually when OBS is a problem, it doesn't fuck with everything else. Like, I don't... Do I need to close... Oh my god. Wow. Okay, hold on. Alright, I'm gonna go into Task Manager. I already have it open, but it wouldn't fucking load. I'm just gonna absolutely end everything that's not OBS. And see if it will do that. Okay, it's literally everything ended. So... I will bet it won't even take the microphone back. Oh, because I unplugged everything. Okay. Alright, well. So if I plug things back in, we gonna have a heart attack? Having it. Okay. Bro, I can't turn down the video settings anymore. I don't understand what you're at. I cannot turn down the video settings any more than this. Alright. My folks, especially Mordecus, if you're still here, I really hate to cancel this before I got to get auditions in, but sometimes you just have to hate yourself and hate your life and try again another day because this is having a heart attack. So if you're still here, thank you for chatting with me for a little bit. I probably will not get this fixed because I suck at this shit. But at least we can live our lives. And at least we got the episode done. So that's good. And you can see me reading off my phone. So I will just say goodbye. I'm not gonna fuck with it anymore. I don't wanna do anything. Even though it tells me it's not having any trouble, it is not at all happy about it. Google and it will not load. No, now I'm fucked because I can't get my mouse back. Oh, Lord. Kill me. Alright, hold on. We're gonna unplug this fucker.